Head coach Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa Hawkeyes on the road in Columbus, Ohio, Saturday afternoon to take on Braxton Miller, Urban Meyer, and the nation's fourth-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes in a cold and rainy Ohio Stadium, but it was the visitors coming out of the gate blazing. We picked this one up early first quarter after a 12-play, 80-yard drive, the longest on the Bucs this year. Jake Rudock finds tight end C.J. Fedorowicz for this 2-yard pitch and catch, and the traveling fans are enjoying that. 7-0 black and gold, but Heisman Trophy candidate Braxton Miller would do Braxton Miller things as he tends to do on the following drive. The junior toying with Iowa linebacker Christian Kirksey on this run to set up a Drew Basil 27-yard field goal. Miller back at it again for the Bucs after a Mike Meyer field goal put the Hawks up 10-3 entering the second quarter. Corey Brown finds just a tad bit of open space. Blown coverage by the Iowa secondary 58 yards later. We're all square at 10 apiece. Fans in the shoe bouncing. Iowa regrouping. Rudock finds Cavante Martin-Manley for his second touchdown throw of the game in a drive that saw Iowa convert on 3 straight third downs. 17-10, Hawks up at the half. Shaky start to the second half for the black and gold. First, it's Carlos Hyde with the 1-yard TD plunge, the first rushing touchdown the Hawkeye defense has given up all year. And then it's Devin Smith going 14 yards to pay dirt, 14 unanswered for the Bucs to start the third quarter. But the Hawks fight back. Jake squared equals 85 yards and 7 points. Rudock to Jake Doozy, part of a 6-grab, 138-yard day. For the Hawks tight end, we head into the fourth quarter all knotted up at 24 points apiece. But the final 15 minutes proved to be too much Bucs, thanks in large part to two of the more spectacular plays you will ever see back-to-back in a college football game. First, it's Braxton Miller, who travels over 80 combined yards to pick up this 3rd and 7 on the Iowa defense. Very next play, Carlos Hyde refuses to go down, escapes the grasp of Iowa safety Tanner Miller, and leaps past the pylon. 273 yards on the ground on the day for the Scarlet and Gray. Urban Meyer breathes a sigh of relief. Kirk Ferentz visibly upset post-game. Final score in this one, Ohio State 34, Iowa 24. For a more in-depth look at Saturday's game, let's toss it over to Daily Iowan TV Sports' Lauren Moss with more.
It was a tale of two halves Saturday afternoon in Columbus, Ohio, with a lot expected of Urban Meyer's Ohio State Buckeyes looking to add to the nation's longest winning streak. But what wasn't expected was the first half performance of the Iowa Hawkeyes, who looked more than ready to challenge one of the nation's best. The first half, the Hawkeyes showed a tremendous amount of effort and strength in one of the most intimidating environments of the Big Ten. Iowa came out making a statement by scoring the first touchdown of the game. The environment of the Horseshoe Stadium took to a new level when Ohio State's top cornerback, Bradley Robbie, was ejected for targeting after his helmet-to-helmet hit with Iowa's tight end, C.J. Fedorowicz, in the end of the first half. Halftime left the Hawks in the lead 17-10, but as expected, the Buckeyes came out second half with the proper adjustments needed to be on top.
And their defense did a good job, and also their offense. They burned a lot of clock in that second half and kept us off the field, but it's kind of how it happens sometimes.
Ohio State quarterback Braxton Miller produced an amazing second half, completing 11 of 12 passes in the third quarter alone. Overall in the second half, Ohio State had 53 offensive plays, while Iowa only had 18.
You don't get prizes for playing a good first half or any of that stuff. You gotta play the full 60 minutes.
The last time the Hawkeyes won at Ohio State University's 100,000-plus seating stadium was back in 1991. For a final recap, let's throw it to Josh Bolander.
For 45 minutes, Kirk Ferentz's Iowa Hawkeyes were able to hang with one of the nation's elite. But there are no moral victories in the Big Ten Conference, and the Hawks come back to Iowa City sitting at 1-2 in the Legends Division, with one of the conference's toughest schedules yet to play. That stretch of games begins next week in Iowa City, with the Hawks welcoming in Pat Fitzgerald's Northwestern Wildcats, who are coming off 2 Big Ten losses of their own. Wrapping up Iowa's 34-24 loss in Columbus, Ohio, in Ohio Stadium, I'm Josh Bolander, Daily Iowan TV Sports.